ask for the truth on behalf of Patricia Alfaro concerning career issues and matters of bereavement, and ask this in the name of truth, right conduct, peace, love and non-violence. Blessed be to the truth always. And we just cut the deck for you there, Patricia, and move the cards to the side. Here we'll move 3 cards in place, like so. Just deal them 1, 2, 3 like that. And each card has of course a meaning, but each position in this spread, as you can call it, because it's a spread, isn't it? So each card in the spread has a meaning, of course, but there's a position in the spread. So the meaning of each card in that position will be relevant to that position. For example, the meaning of this card here is in the position of the recent past. So that meaning will be sort of linked to the recent past and will be interpreted accordingly based upon the question that you asked. So we have, of course, the three cards: past, present, future. Recent past influence, present influence and immediate future influence. The past and the future, well, they're about a moon phase behind, a moon phase in front. You could say about 3 or 4 weeks or so ago, about a month behind, a month in front. So the first card we pull out, of course, is to do with what happened between now and this time last month, concerning this issue that you've raised about being in bereavement and of course not being able to get a job and all this. So there's your card, and what we'll now do is flip the card over, just turn it right nicely, nice and slow though, not to disturb the energy too much, and then there you go, you can see there the card. And as you can see, you've got strength. Notice there's a sort of shamanic sort of feel to that card, isn't there? Sort of shamanism sort of feel to it. With the sort of half man, half lion look to it. And I suppose really when you go think of the card, the meaning of the card itself, Crowley calls strength lust, but of course it's called the force strength in a lot of traditional decks. And in this particular case, a shamanic deck that I normally use myself here refers to it as sort of fortitude and basically just putting up with things that happen. And this sort of goes along the same sort of line, doesn't it? And it just really indicates that recently that you've just really been yes, you've been putting up with a lot, and in a way it's made you stronger, although you wouldn't know that. You've had a lot, you've only had to endure a lot, but nevertheless it's made you stronger, hasn't it? Crowley said that one must fall many times before one is raised up, and it sort of follows that theme, doesn't it, really, in the sense that maybe you've just fallen maybe one too many times, but that's one, just that one too many times that will rise you up again. But the fortitude that you've experienced and the things that you've had to endure has made you has given you strength. I was trying to focus on the grey hair, the character in this card, to indicate, of course, longevity, and it sort of points toward the fact that there's a lot of wisdom has been acquired, as you would say, throughout it. And maybe this is you as well. You've been there, done it, got the t-shirt, and it's been a case over the past 3 or 4 weeks or so of basically just gaining strength. Yes, you've got the struggle going on. Normally the traditional tarot points toward the Hercules and the lion. That's what the lion part is, isn't it? And that sort of struggle with Hercules and the lion, indicating strength that way. I want to now pull out the next card to see what is going on now, how this has affected you right now. Has this, as what you've had to endure, and this strength that you've acquired, how have you used it though? Have you used it, or have you, I won't say abused it, but certainly may have wasted it? I don't know. What have you done with the energy that maybe has been more of a blessing in disguise than anything? I know that sounds strange. Yes, you've got the five there. Really, it's a lot to do with yes, loss. 5 is loss, not just the 5 there, loss. But of course, with it, the strength has brought obstacles and challenges, hasn't it? It's brought in the wake. I always tend to focus on this one with the feet walking, as if you're looking down at your feet and there's a gap and you're having to take a step over, and that's all you've got to do. And yet, because the fall is great, because you could fall into the abyss, literally, and there's no way of getting out. You somehow wouldn't want to step over, just in case you did fall in. So you stay where you are, don't you? And in this sort of regard, you're stuck, aren't you? You're like stuck in what you're doing there because of it. I notice like there's lights here also, as if the way is lit for you, but somehow you just can't quite find a way to get where you want to go. And yet you can see it the other side, but the gap is not so much too great, but there's just that fear of stepping over and sort of stepping over to there, look, if you see what I mean. And that's what it's about, isn't it? I suppose really in this, the 5 of coins has I think it's 5 coins, this. Of course, 5 is loss. So any number between 4 and 9 has to do with the element of water, isn't it? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that's the element of water, and water is mental and moral qualities. So you could call it mental and moral qualities of, couldn't you? And of course, it's actually the 5 of Cups, which is Crowley calls the 5 of Cups the Lord of Disappointment. But here you've got the 5 of it's basically the watery part of water, really. In that regard, mental and moral qualities of mental and moral qualities. Water, of course, or cups or whatever, is to do with emotion, isn't it? It's a minor arcana card. Notice their strength is a major arcana card, or a major arcana energy. Major arcana cards, of course, or major energies, major arcana energies, you've got no power over them. You can't change them. They're permanent. And what's happened just recently has been permanent. You've been unable to do anything. Although not all major arcana cards are negative, and not all of them are positive. Yin and yang, they're better good and bad. But it just means you've got no sort of choice over what happens. And having to become stronger, you had no choice. You had to do it. Having to endure what you've endured, you've had no choice, but you had to do with that. And now, of course, the obstacles and challenges ahead. Yes, I suppose you can feel disappointed by what's happened. And it hurts. And you can feel sort of emotionally drained, I suppose, to that degree. But regardless of the disappointment of, well, you know, why has all this happened, all these questions that may be going through your head, wondering whatever next, what's going to be there next, what other obstacles are to try and step over on the way next. Why can't it just be a straight walk on the flat or something like that? And this is really what it says. But of course, what's now the minor arcana energy right now, it indicates that you've got power to change it. Major arcana cards, remember, I've just said, you've got no power over them. They're permanent. But minor arcana cards are not. And right now, with the obstacles, the challenges, with the disappointment, of course, you do have power to change it. And for as much as you may feel as though you've been, as though you've become distanced from people and events and things like that, as you stare into the ether, you can realise that for as much as you feel as though you've become distanced right now, and that provides its own challenges, of course, you nevertheless do have a choice. You always have a choice, don't you, Patricia? You always have a choice to try and to change this and to move on. Yes, it's hard when we're bereaved, I'm sure, but life is for the living, not the dead. I want to pull out the next card. I want to see what the immediate future is here. And I'm just going to flip the card nice and slow again, not to disturb the energy or whatever. I just want you to see what this is here. Another major arcana energy. You have one in the past and one for the future, but the only time you can change anything is now. So time is of the essence to change it now. You've got the Emperor. The Emperor right now. And of course, the Emperor, yes, is master of his own destiny. And although that's sort of like set in stone, I don't know. Nevertheless, of course, the authority is there for you, but with authority, of course, comes responsibility, doesn't it? And you have to be diplomatic with other people and reasonable with other people. So, really, the Emperor, though, as we said, is master of his own destiny, is an overlord, and he has supremacy over the situation. Maybe because of the strength that you have obtained through what you had to endure and what you've had to put up with. Yes, has provided its own obstacles that you've had to overcome. Those obstacles may have been self-inflicted. You may have been the author of your own misfortune there, but all right now anyway. But of course, you can't help what's happened and how you feel about it. You have to deal with that. But you do have a choice right now to change it. You do have a choice to say life is for the living, not the dead. And yes, we can grieve forever if we want, but we have to bear in mind that what are we grieving for? Are we grieving for a person who was dead when they came here, or are we grieving for somebody who lived? Do we I don't know, do we do that? Do we remember them, and do we grieve for them now they are gone, or do we smile because they've lived? This is the question. You've got the choice to do which one you want, whichever one you want. You've got that choice. The obstacle is there. Somebody has gone. You're having trouble sort of getting your life together and whatever. But at the end of the day, do we feel sorry for ourselves because of what's happened, or do we celebrate the now, and do we smile, and do we live again because somebody else has lived, because somebody else who had a very slim chance of living in the first place? They're the lucky ones. The ones who die are the lucky ones, because some, if not many, will never be born. And that's the key to it. And to gain supremacy over the situation, to get authority and become the overlord of this situation, I feel as though here this is more to do with, the Emperor is more to do with you gaining supremacy and authority over yourself as well as over others or over the situation. And whatever obstacles are there, you will go to them and take on those challenges, and you will win. You will be the victor. You will emerge victorious, because you know that life is for the living, not the dead. And you're living, and you can celebrate life, the very life of the one who is no longer with us. Because they're not here now doesn't mean they weren't here, it just means they're not here now. And that's all it is. and to, I wouldn't say wallow in self-pity, but certainly I think you know the answer. You've become stronger. You've now got a choice to do something about it, to move on and face up to the obstacles, because soon you'll have no choice. You will then have to be master of your own destiny, and then the responsibility is yours. Go well, stay well. These cards have spoken.